So I recently published a video where I did some best alternatives for Huel in 2023. And one of those was Rootana. So a number of people have asked me to go into a bit more detail and compare Rootana with Huel. So without further ado, let's compare the two. Fight! So here we are. We've got the mighty Huel with all its massive marketing spend. And obviously they do a whole range of products and stuff like that. And then we've got the kind lowly Rootana. Can Rootana really stand its ground against the might of Huel? Huel may be the complete nutrition product that you're more familiar with. But as I've said in my previous video, trust me, I have tested and tasted loads, like probably hundreds of different complete nutrition products. There are more in the marketplace than just Huel. And there's good reasons that I recommend Rootana. Ultimately, it comes down to the taste. But we're going to go into a bit more detail and compare the two. If we just compare like for like, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at, in particular, the powder. So I'm not comparing Huel Black or anything like that. What we're comparing here is the original complete meal here for Huel with Rootana. So Rootana here, it says, experience next level nutrition from Rootana, the cutting edge real food shake. Rootana has been extensively researched and developed to provide a perfectly balanced high protein vegan meal. Unlike other shakes, Rootana doesn't contain artificial sweeteners, stevia, sucralose, or refined carbohydrates. Give your body the nutrition it needs and enjoy the taste of real food. Get back to your roots with Rootana. And then obviously here, Huel Powder version 3.0 is a nutritionally complete meal in powdered form. Just mix water and you're good to go. Ideal balance of protein, carbs, essential fats, fiber, all 26 essential vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, kombucha, pre and probiotics. Okay, so let's have a look what's in kind of each of these drinks. So starting off with Huel. So Huel is effectively made with oats, pea protein, ground flaxseed, brown rice protein, tapioca flour, and sunflower oil powder. Whereas if we're looking at Rootana, Rootana is oat flour, so very similar, pea protein, very similar, coconut sugar, which I'll come back to, golden milled flaxseed, and sunflower seed oil. So that's, specifically sunflower seed oil there. And those are its main ingredients compared to Huel. And then we come to the macro split. Huel, we've got a macro split of 37, 30, 30, and 3. So a macro split, your balanced macro split is not on the amounts of, the products, which is down here behind my head here, like the amount of grams and stuff. It's where your body sources its energy from. So in terms of Huel, it gets 37% of its energy from carbohydrates, 30% of its energy from fats, 30% from protein, and 3% from fiber. And if we compare the same with Rootana, Rootana's macro split is 42% from the carbohydrates, 20% from the protein, 33% from healthy fats, and 4% from fiber. Now, this macro split is recommended by the Institute of Medicine. You could check it out on their website. That's the macro split that is recommended by the Institute of Medicine. And that's what Rootana has sort of chosen to sort of go along with. And that's how it's designed. And it's designed to provide you with enough of each macronutrient to lead an active and healthy lifestyle. Whereas with Huel, again, their macro split is based on their food research as well. So slightly different approaches. And as such, what you find is that when it comes to Huel has got 38 grams of carbohydrates, 29 grams of protein, 13 grams of fat, 7 grams of fiber, and then your vitamin and mineral mix. And then if we compare that with the breakdown of Rootana, what we find here, you're getting slightly more carbs. You're getting 43 to 40 grams of carbs. you're getting 20 to 21 grams of protein, slightly less protein if that's important to you on Rootana. You're getting similar 14 to 16 grams of fat. And again here, very similar 7 grams of fiber. What you find is you get slightly more carbs in Rootana, but these are complex carbohydrates. So I know carbs often come with a sort of a bad press, as it were. But when they're complex carbohydrates, what they do is they provide slow releasing energy throughout the day. And then the higher the fiber content of your carb sources, the more sustained your energy levels will be. And Rootana uses oats for the majority of its carbs, which are well known for their low GI score and low energy release. And then, of course, you have the kind of coconut sugar element. So for me, this is one of the biggest things, which we'll come to. So if we go to the ingredients here on Huel, what we find, that's cinnamon, let's go to the vanilla here. Look at the sweetener here. It's sucralose. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of sweetener. They don't like the idea of sucralose. So if that is a big no-no for you, it's there in Huel. So that's something you need to consider. Whereas if we look at Rootana, I think is fairly unique. I've tested, I say, loads and loads of complete nutrition products. I think this is one of the few that doesn't actually have a sweetener. And when I say sweetener, some people will say natural sweetener for stevia. It's still a sweetener, and it still has a sweetener aftertaste, which for me can taint the flavor. But no, what they've done here is a small amount of coconut sugar provides Rootana with its delicious, mildly sweet taste. Unlike artificial sweeteners, coconut sugar is completely natural. Although it could be argued that stevia is natural, but it has an aftertaste. Don't like it. Coconut sugar also has a low glycemic index than, say, white sugar, meaning it doesn't spike your blood glucose and insulin levels in the same way. And there's not a lot of it, but just enough to give you that sweetness. And ultimately, as I say, it comes down to taste. Basically, Rootana's carb stack, as I say, includes, that's the reason the carbs are slightly more in Rootana. You're getting 43 to 40 grams of carbs in Rootana. And part of that is driven by the fact that you're getting the coconut sugar. Okay, so that is why that's slightly higher, which in my opinion is a good thing, as opposed to 38 grams, which behind my head here, 38 grams of carbs from the Huel. And that's because they're relying on sucralose. And I think that's the main difference there. And I think just, the coconut sugar is just, it's more natural. So if you're looking for that more natural taste, and ultimately this is what it comes down to. Before we get to the taste, because ultimately I think if you were going to grade each thing and award points, the taste is so important, because you're going to be drinking this every day perhaps, or on a regular basis. So you want something that is easy to drink. And so I would weight the value of taste more than anything else to a certain degree, which is why I sort of lean towards Rootana, and it's my regular go-to. Let's look at the comparative bottles. I really like the design of the Huel bottle. It makes a nice change, but plastic, plastic. Nice design, but plastic. Now you look at this and you think, oh no, another plastic one as well. No. It is metal inside. Yeah. Ideal for on the go. Plus, I think it's more hygienic. I just get a sense that actually metal is slightly more hygienic than plastic. Plastic gets scratches and stuff like that, and bacteria can sort of get in there and stuff. This is like a camping thing, which is the sort of thing that it's aimed at. So that's a big win. Yeah, the lid is plastic, but I've got hundreds of plastic bottles, mostly generic. I'm glad Huel did a slightly different one. But this is, I think, the first metal one. Yeah, I've had a metal one for energy drinks, but not a metal one for complete nutrition products. So there you go. All right, so if we then just look at the price as well, the thing with Huel is you have to buy a minimum of 2 bags. So there's always a risk if you don't like it. The amount of people that kind of contact me and said, oh, you said you liked such and such, and I, Huel, and I bought 2 bags, and it's horrible. I hated it, and now I'm stuck with these 2 bags. It is a bit annoying that they sort of force you to buy 2 bags, and what you're getting is effectively 34 meals. Let's not do it on subscribe. On a one-time basis, 57. So they've reduced the price slightly at 57.22. Okay, which is 168 per meal. Okay, but you do have to buy 2 bags. Whereas with Rootana, you can buy 1 bag. Now, obviously, if you buy 2 bags, you get free delivery on it. But there's a lower risk if you decide, Clive, I followed your video and I decided to get Rootana, and then you end up, hating me because you decide you don't like it. Trust me, you will. It's so much different from the Huel in its taste and texture. Even though, as we've seen, the ingredients are very, very similar. But anyway, it's a bit more expensive. It's $29.99. They don't have the scale. Rootana is the David in this David and Goliath relationship here. They don't have the scale that Huel does. So that's to be expected. Plus, they use really refined ingredients as well. But it's not much different. That works out at £2.14 per meal. And as I said, you're only having to buy 1 bag, and you're getting 14 meals in that bag. Whereas one bag of Huel, you get 17 meals. So that's a comparison for you. Rootana is healthy, and you can use it for 1 to 2 meals each day. Neither of these claim to be, they're not, and neither of them claim to be meal replacement products. They are not meal replacement products. They are complete nutrition products. Huel is very much, it's a meal. It's not a replacement meal. It's actually a meal. And Rootana is the same. It's about taking a meal, on the go, as it were. It's all about outdoor adventures on their website. I'll just move over here. You can see on their website there, it's all about, camping and stuff. Hence the slightly more robust bottle there. Ultimately, between the two, it comes down to taste. And as I said, if I'm going to, whilst there are some things, if you want high protein, then that's what they focused on in the Huel. It has slightly higher protein count. Although if you want that more sort of sustained, slow release, complex carbs, then Rootana could be your route. But for me, it's the absence of any kind of sweetener in here. When I say, a non-sugar sweetener. Yeah, it is the absence of that makes this to me far superior, because I struggled with the Huel, especially when they changed their recipe first time round, with the aftertaste, the sucralose. I can't be doing with the sucralose. There's a few Huel products which on paper look really, really good, but there are better tasting products out there. And I think the downfall for Huel often is that aftertaste. It's just the aftertaste. They either use too much sweetener, which makes it a bit sickly sweet, or there's too much aftertaste. And also can be a bit gloopy. You often when people first try it, if you're first trying a meal replacement product, you can easily be put off if your first experience is Huel. And then you think all complete nutrition products taste like that. They don't. They don't have to taste like that. That's why, for me, overall, because of the taste and the fact that it meets my needs, even though they're much of a muchness, that's why I would recommend Rootana. I would just recommend it's 1 bag. Why don't you just swap out 1 Huel order with Rootana just for 1 month? And just to see, variety is the spice of life, as they say. So there you go. I hope you found that kind of slightly more in-depth dive into the 2 products useful. Let me know if you do try Rootana. And in fact, if you want to get that price down, I have managed to secure a bit of a discount. If you use the link down below, you should be able to get a discount if it's still available. So use the link down below. Give Rootana a go. As I say, let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, then please hit the likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new to my channel, then please do me the great honor of hitting that subscribe button, toggling that notification bell, so that you know when I publish videos just like this. Oh yeah, and while you're at it, why don't you check out the videos here? Yeah, it's more of the same. You might enjoy them. These ones here. Thanks.